Hey guys, Omni here. We got some exciting news. Like, seriously, I was starting to doubt whether we would ever get to this point. You know, we've been fighting for this for quite some time. Earlier today, Zack Snyder was hosting a live commentary stream of Man of Steel. And at the end of the stream, at the end of his commentary, you know, there was various people there. It was him, his wife, Henry Cavill made an appearance, as well as a bunch of other people that also worked on the film. And at the end of the stream, somebody made a comment. It's like, well, you know what? Why don't you just show the Snyder Cut? Why don't you just give us a peek? Let's just show it right here. And he was like, yeah, it's not ready. It's not finished. There's still some stuff to do, but I can show you this. And he leans down and gives us a title card reveal. Justice League Snyder Cut coming to 2021 on HBO Max. Holy shit. I can't wait. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. After a while, all the release the Snyder Cut stuff for a little bit did start to get on my nerves. Just seeing it everywhere, getting into inappropriate places, people's like funeral threads and random things that are completely non-DC related that just maybe had some loose ties to Warner Brothers. I was like, all right, guys, come on. And then after a while, with the announcement of HBO Max, I was like, you know, this would be the perfect thing to use to market this new streaming service. You know, it only makes sense. I mean, people are still pushing for it years later. And I was like, you know what? Finally, I just decided to cave in and join in with the release, the Snyder Cut. And our fruits of labor have proven useful. It has not been in vain. We are going to be seeing Zack Snyder's original vision of this movie in 2021. There's some interesting little comments that I wanted to pull out of this whole conversation that I thought were really interesting. He said it will be an entirely new thing, and especially talking to those who have seen the released movie, because Zack Snyder hasn't actually watched the theatrical film itself. A new experience apart from that movie. You probably only saw 1/4 of what I did. Now, there is an additional $20 to $30 million of budget that is going to go into completing the Snyder Cut. It was unclear. I heard some people mention that they would be doing some reshoots with some of the cast members from the film, which would be really interesting. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I think they're going to move forward with it. I don't know. Henry Cavill was there. He was supporting it. He was backing it. I know that's been something that a lot of people have been concerned or questioning about, because he's mostly, aside the member of the film that stayed the most quiet about everything. He was definitely trying to play it safe, I get, given everything, because he does want to continue being Superman. And Warner Brothers for a long time was really apprehensive over this release, the Snyder Cut thing. Even though everybody else was voicing off about it, he was just very calm, collected, and quiet, and always tried to avoid any of that controversy. But he was here to back it, support it, and we'll be getting it. I can't believe it. I honestly feel like I'm in a little bit of a daydream, a little bit of a fever dream here. It feels like it's not real, but it is. You can see the video of the reveal online already right now. This happened moments ago. I was in the middle of working, and I decided to take an early break so that I could film this and talk about it. And oh my God, this is ridiculous. I'm excited. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was one of the people that did enjoy the version of Justice League that we got. Was it great? No. But I still was excited nonetheless to see versions of some of my favorite comic book characters come together and unite in some form. And for me, that was enough. I know all the drama going into it, and it was hard to avoid a lot of that. And I still, for the most part, despite its flaws and logical leaps and inconsistencies with Batman v Superman, did moderately enjoy the film. I do find it still watchable. But I've always thought that vision that Zack Snyder had, once we started to hear the pieces of it, hear the little bits of information that he's been slowly feeding us over the years, like, man, that sounded like it would have been so much better and more coherent and more consistent with the version of the world that he has been presenting to us up to this point. And, you know, we've never, I honestly, I don't think we ever thought it would come to fruition. Now, it's never been a completed movie in the version a lot of people think. They're just like, oh, it's there. They have it. Get it out. The cut has been there, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And they're finally willing to front the bill for it and get it together and allow it to be released on their streaming platform. 2021 cannot come soon enough. I'm wondering what this will do. If the reception to this is even remotely better than the first film, the theatrical version of the film, what will they feel compelled to continue forward with his story, or will they still set in the roots of what they've laid before? Because if they're no longer ashamed of the movie, no longer ashamed of what happened before, and who knows, just because we have this magnificent idea of what the Snyder Cut could be, it may still not live up to that expectation. There's so much hype surrounding this movie already at this point, this version of the film. It's become a mythical legend of Hollywood, and we're finally going to be getting it. It's like this freaking magical unicorn of a thing that's going to be coming out. And I'm curious to see how that's going to go and what kind of effect that's going to have on the current status of the DCEU. Will it revive it? Because right now they've been very intent on trying to keep things like self-contained and separated. You know, we have been moving forward with Aquaman. We have been moving forward with Wonder Woman. Shazam has played within this world. And of course, Birds of Prey did reference the same world that we're in, even though Batman was MIA in that film, not in Gotham for some reason. They've been dancing around with different things as it pertains to this film. And they've also been hinting at, in some of the other films following that, a lot of the creative forces in those films had continued to back Snyder's version of the film events, because there's been references to things that were not in the theatrical cut, that were only in Zack Snyder's version of the script, that were referenced in Birds of Prey, that was referenced in Shazam and Aquaman, and a few others as well from what we've been talking about. And I'm curious to see what that means. Maybe if this does well, if it lives up even like 80% to the expectations that we all kind of have for this idea of what it is, it may completely revive the DCEU, which I would be okay with. But I still think they need to continue with these solo movies and build that out. But maybe this will allow Warner Brothers to not be afraid to use Henry Cavill and Superman and bring him back into the fold. And I know Ben Affleck was really excited to be working with Zack Snyder and has really been tied in with that. Would he return if that relationship mends? Because I know he was in it for the vision, and that vision had become compromised halfway through. So I don't know. It may be too late. They may still for him to come back. Who knows? But we all definitely know that everybody else is in the loop for this. Henry Cavill is hungry for more Superman, and he has never really backed down on that. He's just been playing the quiet professionalism that he is known for, keeping himself out of the controversies for the most part, because he wants to be a good boy and get work and not piss off these big companies or anything. So that's the idea that I've been getting from him. But we didn't know Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher, Ezra Miller, given his current status after the strangulation of that one lady, given not that's been fake. That's kind of, anybody even talking about that's kind of died off for a while. But we know that pretty much the entire cast, save Ben Affleck, would be more on board, I would imagine, to come back and make sure this continues and happens, because they've all been supporting it. I mean, even Ben Affleck, even after giving up the cape and cowl, was in support of the release the Snyder Cut movement. It's crazy. It's insane. Like I said, it feels like it's not real. It feels like a dream, but we'll be getting it. One thing, too, I wanted to talk about is the format in which it's going to be released, because it's in debate right now. It seems between two different styles of release. One is as a 4-hour directorial cut of the film. Just one watch, one sitting, one go. And the other is having it divided up into a limited series in which it's released into, they're approximating 6 episodes, and each segment would be dedicated to a chapter of the film. So you could, right now, it's a toss-up between those two from what we're going to be seeing as far as that's concerned, but we're getting it. I don't care what version what way they present this movie out or release it onto the wilds and to HBO Max, I was already going to sign up, and I guarantee you're going to get a lot more people signing up for it now. But I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see it. It can be a 4-hour movie. I will sit through it all. It still doesn't mean it's going to be great, but it'll be a different experience, and I hope it lives up to the expectations. I'm trying not to get too hyped up. I'm trying not to get my hopes up and think it's going to be this whole magical, like, perfect version of the film we got in theaters. Who knows? It could still end up not being that great. That's always the chance you have with a movie. So as much as I'm hyping it up in my head, I'm still trying to be a little reserved on it, but I'm excited. I've always been a DC fan at heart, and I want to see them succeed. I want to see them move forward. I hold them accountable for their mistakes, but I think this is one of those ones where it was completely out of their control. And this is some people, executives that are no longer in power, took advantage of a tragedy and twisted an artist's vision. And we are finally getting that artist's intended vision for what he had been planning with this film. And I can't wait to check it out. So I want to know your all's thoughts. Did you think we would get here? Did you think this day would come? Did you think we would be getting this on HBO Max? Or what's your feelings on this whole situation? I'm excited. It was so cool watching them talk about this and then react to the reveal on set. And it was great. It was wonderful. I'm hyped up for this more than I've been for quite some time. Because it's real. It's finally been validated, and I can't wait. So guys, that's all I've got for this. Let's carry on the conversation after the video down in the comments, because I'll really want to know how you all are feeling and what your thoughts are on the situation. But that's all I've got for this, guys. Massive news. I'm glad I got to jump on this right now. It brought my day up tremendously. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope you're all staying safe, taking care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.